You said you've got 2 weeks to go with the team. I guess just past month update. How's the team looking? How's the team shaping up to your expectations? And what needs to be done from here till the end?
Well, I think you guys all know that to me, the respect, the maturity of my group is at the forefront. And, I thought last year with the way we started in terms of creating a culture, retaining the guys that I've retained, I think we kind of seamlessly went into this offseason because of those guys. I got six returners. You feel like you retained everybody, but I still got seven new guys, but having those guys back, Justice and Gav, BC, Marcus Reed, Taj, that core six of guys that came back with us, I think kind of set the table for what this summer was going to look like. And I love the pieces we've added in terms of the three transfers. Tazzy, Riley, Tone, and then you add in four really quality, talented freshmen with upperclassmen with experience. So I'm really happy to be completely transparent. I'm very happy with how this off season's gone so far, and I think it's a testament to the guys I coach. I've said it over and over again. I'm really lucky. I am. I'm really lucky. I think I can go a little bit beyond that. I don't think it's luck. I think we've recruited the right people in terms of character. Um, and when you've got guys that love it, truly love the game, that want to be coached, our job is so fun. And I couldn't be happier in terms of, listen, AJ, at the end of the day, like quality of life is really hard to come by in this industry. And um, I'm really grateful for the quality of character of kid I coach.
We haven't really been able to get into practice, and I guess this question's more for the audience than for me, but how has practice been? What's it look like? I know there's a lot of people that obviously don't get to see it and they want to know how's this team been practicing itself?
Very competitive. Um, you know, I think if you really look at the roster now, I think we have quality at depth at every position. And in the summertime, like everybody's starting to try to lobby for where they think they stand. And for a coach, for a coaching staff, that's what you want. You want guys in the summertime putting their best foot forward in terms of like, hey, I want to look my best in the eyes of the coaches. Um, and through that, you start to sharpen your skills. And the thing that I'll say is what I'm really happy about is you got guys, for me is freshmen. Like how fast can freshmen pick up what you're trying to lay on the table for them? These guys have made significant jumps for me in the last few weeks. So to me, I already knew what I had in terms of coming back. I think everybody that follows our program understands that we have a lot of offense coming back from especially those top three players. It's about what can you add now to the pieces around it. Can you add shooting? Can you add physicality, which is what I wanted to address in the offseason, and I did. Now, can you get freshmen up to par in terms of the pace of play, what you want defensively, knowing every set offensively, and then roll it out. And in segments of practice, you've got to be able to have segments of practice where you're really detailed oriented, but then you have to have those segments where you turn them loose and see what they've got. And then right now, I feel like we've got a really good balance of guys competing for minutes and through that, doing it in a respectful manner in terms of pushing each other to be better individually. And that's where I've been really pleased. The respect between player, between teammate has been there at the forefront, and they're still competing their tails off.
I guess moving forward, once we get to this August time and then September, what really is the next phase of getting this team ready for the season prior to obviously preseason camp?
Well, like we talked about, I think it's really important. I felt like our last week on campus together last summer was our best week. And it happened to actually land on the week that we do camp for the kids. So we switched our practice time to the evening. Our kids worked camp all day and then practiced right after camp. And I thought we were going to take a dip and we actually went up. And I think it was the excitement of probably them knowing they're going home at the end of the week. But the physicality just ramped up. So I want to make sure that as we finish, I don't want to look too far ahead into September after they come back. I want to make sure we finish on the right foot here over the next week, week and a half. And then when you come back, you're in it. Like at that point, and that message will be very clear when these guys leave for summer break. When they come back, like, hey, the season has begun. We've put in the preparation in terms of what it takes physically to prepare your body to get ready for September, to be ready eventually for November. And, I think that's really, as we get into October, is when even last year I started to more of the defensive side of the ball, like defensive oriented. I feel like we've got a really good grasp on the conceptual basketball I want to play on the offensive side. But as we move into these next few months leading into actual gameplay, we put a heck of a lot more emphasis on the defensive side of the ball. And then we really start to scheme in terms of individual, obviously leading up to the first game in terms of opponent.
And I guess you kind of just touched upon it, your message moving forward. What exactly, if you could go more in depth, what will you be telling these guys as they leave campus and then when they come back? I mean, what's the underlying message for this upcoming season?
No distractions. We say it pretty much daily. No distractions. That's of all the things we talk about, it's the most important thing to me is no distractions. And what that means basically is as soon as you leave this gym, you make sure that your singular focus is on, have I done what I need to do to be better today? Have I put my best foot forward in terms of what's the main focus? The main focus is to be the most quality team we could possibly be that ultimately leads to being a championship team. And you can't do that with distractions. You've got to come in ready to work every day in the practice time that we have. You got to carve out time in terms of your time management to work on yourself, to come back and get extra work. But when you're not on the basketball court, I don't want any distractions. You take care of your schoolwork, you behave yourself, you act the right way. You do those things and you're going to keep climbing. So that's been a big motto for us is we don't want any distractions.
Understandable. Final questions, just kind of about tomorrow's event itself. I know obviously you won't be there. The team will be, the Siena women's team will be, Terry will be. Um, you've made it very clear, and so is the entire kind of Siena basketball community, men's and women's, that giving back to the community is one of the top things that you guys want to do. What does it mean to you and to your men to be able to go out to a community and give back in a court dedication, for example?
Well, I just, first and foremost, compliments to all the hard work that goes into refurbishing courts, creating safe environments for our communities to go. I think that's the most important thing as a parent is like, do these kids have a safe, clean place to go and enjoy? It's how I grew up. But it's important for us. I'm really blessed. I'm very grateful for the programs that I've been a part of. And, I'm not naive. I understand why good programs are good programs, and it's support. It's the support by the community. They're the ones that show up and make it important. So we need to reciprocate that. I mean, it's that simple. We're in an incredibly fortunate position that we like to think that people do look up to us and how we carry ourselves and what we do. Now we've got to go out and pour back into that and pour into the community and do every small thing we can to make sure that we give the thanks back to them, for everything they give to us. And I'm really proud. I know Lynn Young has worked really hard on these projects, and she's been great. She's been great to work with, and so many people put their effort into this to make sure that these kids have somewhere to go, somewhere safe, somewhere clean. Sometimes dreams start on those playgrounds, and that's just the reality. And I love the fact that I have a group of guys that understand how important that is. And to be honest with you, I think I have a group of guys that feel really grateful and blessed the same way I do, that they have a program that, is held to a certain standard and people care about. And, this is a wonderful community. I've only been here a year. But again, they've been so over welcoming to myself, to my family, to my wife and children. Just really, really grateful and blessed. I'm bummed that I can't be there because I would love to make sure that I told everyone that I could in person how grateful I am. But I'm also trying to do the right thing and make sure I don't get anybody sick and just really, really, it's important for us to make sure that the community understands how grateful we feel and try to return the favor as often as we can.